What is the deadliest xenomorph of all time in all of cinema history, in the entire Alien franchise? I decided to rank them all because now that Alien Earth is out and we're seeing all manners of new xenomorphs coming through the fray, I want to get to this. While I am mostly going off of movies because I am a cinema vigilante, I will probably have to tie in comic books and games because it's inevitable, because there's a lot of expanded lore within that material that needs to be touched on. We're getting right into it. No fluff on this shit. No fluff at all, alright? The weaker ones. The ones that... It's a xenomorph. They're all going to be fucking powerful, but compared to the ones that are going to be on this list, they're nothing, okay? Highfield's mutated pathogen form. The reason why he's here is because he is pretty much turning into some kind of evolved xenomorph. Whenever people are mutated by the pathogen, animal, human alike, they all take on a xenomorph shape, so I am putting him on this list. And he gains superhuman strength and all these abilities. He's throwing people around and breaking their faces like they're nothing. So yes, he's at the bottom of the list. The Neomorph from Alien Covenant. The Neomorph probably has the fastest gestation and life cycle out of all the aliens on this list, maybe. Like, from a spore that climbs into a guy's ear and then back bursts out of him and grows within 5 minutes. Like, yeah. There's one other creature that has an even faster gestation process than him, of course. But this is one of the... This is a deadly fucking xenomorph. It bit a woman's head off clean in like 2 seconds. It's pretty much got all the strength of a normal xenomorph, just not as powerful, okay? The Protomorph from Alien Covenant. The unrefined version of the xenomorphs that would come out later. We know the Protomorph, in a deleted scene, was supposed to tear a Neomorph into pieces in a fight. It has to be above him on the list, okay? Now we get our xenomorphs. Now, the Alien Earth Xenomorph is one of the fastest, most ferocious xenomorphs I've ever seen in my life. It rips people to bits in 5 minutes and rips them in groups. It did just get killed by a synthetic within a couple minutes of fighting it. Granted, it did damage the synthetic to the point of death too, but still, I'm going to say that this xenomorph is pretty close to the average power level of a typical xenomorph drone. Alright, I'm just going to say that, ballpark it. But there is one xenomorph drone that I have to put above it. The xenomorph drone from AVP that took on and killed 2 predators easily! Now yes, one was a backstab, and yes, the predators in this movie are relatively green. They're young. But they're predators. And he got into a hand-to-hand fight with one of these Yaoja. I don't give a fuck what anyone says about the Alien Earth synthetics. The Yaojas are stronger. Okay, they're stronger. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. And it beat it. It beat it fair and square. You know I have to put you... This is way more impressive than beating a group of humans. You beat a fucking Yaoja. I don't care how new it was. It's a Yaoja. The Praetorian Guards. Yes, we haven't seen it in movies. Yes, it's part of the video games, but... in order to mention the xenomorphs I'm about to mention above, I need to mention this, okay? The Praetorian Guards are queen-shaped aliens that are not as big as queens, not as powerful as queens, but they're evolved versions of the typical drone xenomorphs. So they're in like the middle section. They're between a normal drone and a queen. So they're pretty powerful. They're more stronger than regular drones, and they're there to guard the queen. We have the heavy hitters. These are the ones you don't fuck with. The queen! The alien queen. We know she's one of the most ferocious variant of xenomorphs ever because she's the fucking queen. We've seen her time and time again lay waste to everything on her path. She gets killed quite often, but still. She's able to kill Predator. She's bigger, she's stronger than normal xenomorphs. I have to put her here, okay? Now, I asked ChatGPT who is the strongest variant of xenomorph, and it said the queen is number 1. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, brother. No. No. The Xenomorph Queen is not even close to the strongest Xenomorph variant we've seen, alright? The offspring from Alien Romulus. Now, a lot of people are about to be angry that I put this above the Queen and a regular drone, because yes, we don't know its true power. It did just get blasted out of a ship by one girl. Granted, all these aliens do at the end of all these damn movies. But when I think about the offspring, I think about what it would have turned into. I have to include the potential growth, because that's a part of this being's DNA. According to the concept art, there were plans for it either to turn into a xenomorph drone or to turn into this. I'm counting this as the one that I'm putting on this list. This is the Antichrist. It's turning into a winged, crazy scorpion-tailed abomination xenomorph form that's white and translucent in color that can fly. It's turning into a damn dragon. This would have been stronger than any xenomorph drone. Okay, in my opinion. And it would have been strong enough to take on a queen simply because of the fact that it can fucking fly. Now, there are queen xenomorph variants that have wings too that I forgot to put on this fucking list, for fuck's sake. This is a pretty powerful being, okay? Now, the Deacon. Why am I putting the Deacon so high? We haven't seen much of the Deacon. As far as we know, the Deacon could be the weakest of the bunch. The Deacon has a unique power. The Deacon has pathogen extension powers. It can create entire environments around it by accentuating itself outwards. It grew into a fucking mountain in the comic book follow-up to Prometheus. It created an entire pathogen ecosystem out of itself. I'm not saying it could beat other xenomorphs in a fight. I'm saying that if it grabs a hold of them and decides to freaking extend itself outwards, and if it knows what its abilities are. Remember, we saw the pathogen when it was just truly born and didn't know what the fuck was going on. Once it does, once it's aware of its abilities and decides to grow on a mountain out of anything, everything in the surroundings that gets swarmed into it are fucked. We saw it when Eldon decided to come through. Now, yes, the Deacon pretty much can't do anything when it's grown into a fucking mountain, so it's questionable that I'm even putting him this high on the list, but the fact that it has pathogen extension powers makes it fucking deadly in my eyes, okay? The Newborn from Alien Resurrection. It killed the Queen with one punch. One-shotted its jaw the fuck out. It could be number one. It could be number one. We haven't seen a being this powerful. It's somehow more powerful than most creatures on this list, despite being an alien-human hybrid. Why would an alien-human hybrid born from a fetus of a queen be more powerful than a queen? I don't know the mechanics behind it, but it's pretty sick. It's a disgusting creature. And it's one of the most powerful we've ever seen, just with the fact that it killed a queen, one-shotted it as soon as it was born. Now we're gonna get to the demigods. These are the ones that are above all. Alright? Some of them you don't even know. Some of them you'll be very surprised to see on this list. Eldon from the comic books. There's a reason why I'm adding him here. Just bear with me, okay? Eldon, there's an asterisk because he's not really a xenomorph variant. But he becomes that. He's basically a synthetic that gets infected by pathogen. He gets exposed to pathogen and becomes this crazy xenomorph-shaped being with multiple arms that can morph and infect others and turn them xenomorph-esque as well. He's fought multiple Yaoja and xenomorphs. He's very powerful. Very, very strong. I think it's Fire and Stone or Blood and Stone. Fire and Stone, I think, were the alien comic books where Eldon has been featured. Look into those if you want to see how badass this dude is. He's a very powerful being, and the only reason I put him on this list is because I do think we're going to get an adaptation of him soon. Whether it's Alien Romulus 2 or Alien Earth. We're dabbling with synthetics, getting exposed to alien material. I feel like a Eldon-like storyline's coming through, right? The Ultramorph. The variant of Xenomorph that was supposed to be the grand design of the engineers, of being born straight from an engineer. That's supposed to be bigger than regular Xenomorphs, bigger than we can even know. Arguably bigger than fucking Queens. Now, some of you can say, okay, we haven't seen it in cinema or games yet. We have seen it. Maybe it doesn't look like this, but we have seen a version of a Xenomorph that's come straight from a space jockey in Alien Dark Descent, which is a video game where we see the engineers are not engineers, they're space jockeys as they were meant to be before Ridley Scott changed the canon. These are biomechanical large beings fused to chairs. Massive, massive creatures. You see how massive... This is beyond the engineers that we've seen in the Prometheus movies. Like, this is huge. Can you imagine what would happen if a Xenomorph was to break out of that? We're getting this. What is that? A creature that's it dwarfs a Xenomorph. It's a fucktillion times bigger than a Xenomorph or a Xenomorph queen. It's serpentile in nature and it has a tongue like this. It might not be able to be as mobile as regular Xenomorphs because it lacks the two legs. It has a tail. But my lord, you don't want to be in a fight with this dude one-on-one. You will lose. You will lose. What the fuck is that? What is that mouth? What is that tongue? It makes no sense. But it's large enough to like grab my whole body like it's nothing and throw me. You don't want to fuck with this being. It has the durability of an engineer / space jockey exoskeleton with the mass and size of like two queens put together and serpentile tail that it could probably help it maneuver around objects, climb onto things, swim. It's pretty terrifying. Pretty terrifying, guys. The Predalien. There's a reason I'm putting the Predalien this high. Some might say, why the hell would the Predalien be here if it's so much smaller than the space jockey Ultramorph? Well, here's the thing. And by the way, that Ultramorph may not even be the Ultramorph that Ridley Scott planned for, but I'm putting in there no matter what. The Predalien, I believe, is the apex predator of the entire Alien franchise. Yes, it's part of the Alien Predator movies, which are not technically canon, but still. It skinned multiple Yaoja and hung them from the ceiling of a ship, like they were nothing. It infested an entire town because it has the ability of a queen, but it can create embryos of xenomorphs way faster. And it took a nuke to put this thing down. Nothing could kill it. No soldiers with guns could kill it. The freaking wolf is one of the most badass predators of all time, and it couldn't even do anything to him. Like it tried to fight him, and it still couldn't win. It was able to rip out its tongue, but it got killed in the process. And then a nuke hit both of them and killed them. Like, this is it. This is the apex predator. It's too strong. I think this thing would solo the newborn, the offspring, a queen, the fucking creature from the Alien Dark Descent, the space jockey alien, the Neomorph. It would solo all of them, and in fact, I think it also has abilities to control other xenomorphs because it functions as a queen. It's got royalty. So no drone could do anything to it. I think it could solo the offspring and the newborn at the same fucking time. I think this is the most powerful alien we've seen. There's one more. There's two more above it, but still, this is it. This could be it. The Queen Mother. Yes, this is a comic book alien, but fuck, man, I'm supposed to clip it to cinema, but I guess I can't. The Queen Mother dwarfs the Empress and Queens in size. I think it's like 52 to 60 meters high. Maybe bigger. It has telepathy powers. It can telepathically communicate with humans and even manipulate them. It can manipulate their dreams and make them do things they don't want to do. When an alien can infest your mind, and we're seeing aspects of that in Alien Earth, you're fucked. It doesn't just communicate with you, it can control you with its telepathic powers. That is one of the scariest concepts in the entire Alien lore. You don't want to fuck with it, right? Now, the one. The only. A lot of people don't know about this. If you're a fan of my channel, you probably know, because I mention it a lot. Here's a quote. I am utterly beneath her notice. In all the universe, she's a queen among lepers, a goddess among maggots. And yet I know she has noticed me. She's looking for me. And even though she's the nearest thing to true evil that exists, the thing that will someday reduce all life to gore and ash, I know that some part of me wants to be found. What the flying fuck is this? I believe that the being I'm about to mention, and it is quoted as being this, is the end result of humans interacting with xenomorphs. She is the end-all be-all of the entire lore. She has many names. The Queen Mother, the Goddess, the Woman in Dark. I know people are about to leave because, oh, Zafi, how many times are you going to fucking mention it? This is one of my favorite parts of the entire lore. And I want it to be recognized. And I want it to be adapted, even though I don't trust Hollywood for shit. This creature is not just a xenomorph variant. There's a chance she doesn't even exist. She might be a Lovecraftian force, a Lovecraftian concept behind the xenomorphs, but she might not be a physical being like a regular queen. She's a being that exists in the far reaches of the universe and also in the far darkest, deepest corners of our mind. The only way you can see her is if you survive a chestburster incident. In the comic books, there's a general or a soldier that survives a chestburster incident, and he's linked to the hive mind, where he sees her in his thoughts and his dreams, reaching out to him, as if death is extending a warm hand to life, trapping it, ensnaring it. She is as evil and scary as she is seductive. And many of you might ask, Zafi, why the fuck is she on a list when you're mostly going for cinema? Okay, we don't know if she exists. She's not even in any of the movies. I believe she does exist in the Alien universe, especially if Ridley Scott starts using his fucking brain. There are aspects of the canon that have been introduced to us that tell me that she might exist in some form. David was trying to create a queen. He tried with Elizabeth Shaw. She got killed, but in concept art, we would have seen Elizabeth Shaw turned queen would have looked like, and it would have been a being looking like this who turned on David. And then let's not forget, he has Daniels ready to go for him in Alien Covenant, experimenting on her, maybe making her his new replacement surrogate queen for the xenomorphs. There's a chance that one of these could turn into what would be the Lady in Dark, a creature that has infinite power and control not only over the xenomorphs, but similar to the Queen Mothers, has telepathy links to human consciousness. That is terrifying. Every variant is at her disposal. Now, some could say, okay, maybe she's not Daniels or Elizabeth Shaw or anything. So maybe she's not part of the David story arc. And if we're going off of the basis that David wasn't actually the true progenitor of the Xenomorphs and that they were an ancient race created by the engineers first, or they were there before the pathogen, maybe. And the Lady in Dark, the Woman in Dark, is an ancient primordial force that's behind the Xenomorphs since the beginning of their existence, since before our existence. That is terrifying, yo. That is why she is number one on this list. It's partly because you can't really beat her because she's a fucking force. She may not even be a regular alien. That's it, y'all. Like and subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.